should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't even know where to begin. If I allow myself to dream, will it be as good as it seems? Pull me out of this place in the middle, in the middle. Nothing more to embrace in the middle, in the middle. If I try to climb up the wall, everyone can see when I fall. Take me up into the mountains, send me off into the wild. Misery is still a path I would choose if the alternatives are worse. I guess it's time to find a friend, one who will stick by to the end. Going out of my mind in the middle, in the middle. Wasting all of my time in the middle, in the middle. I take a bite and spit it out, unaware of what it's about. I'm not that good at faking it. I feel somehow I've broken it. I don't believe I'm part of it. In the If I try to climb up the wall, everyone can see when I fall. Nothing really matters at all. Pull me out of this place in the middle, in the middle. Nothing more to embrace in the middle, in the middle.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Okay. Thank you. He loves you too very much. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you here this Monday. Where's my brain? Let me say hey to y'all real quick. Hey, Bad Girl, Toxic, Anna, Michelle, Anders, Sarah, Anders, Eek. It's so good to see you all. Manda, Solistic Glow. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Had to hash out some stories. Should be good. I will put it on Discord when I'm ready. I've been watching your channel. It's been pretty good. Hey, Mallory Beavers, Sarah Lee, Donna. I think I saw Jill just now. Teresa, Joyous N, Gray Moon. Good to see you. Jenny Jen, my love. Eek, my love. I don't know if I said hey to you yet. It's good to see you all. If I haven't said hey to you, Pisces, good to see you. Mallory Beaver, Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee said, I just feel like a lot popped off all at once with a handful of cases, and now I'm just confused on what's going on where. Sometimes I feel the same way, especially when I submit a bunch of FOIAs at one time, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this in reference to? Okay, so we do have a bunch popping off actually right now. I will share with you real quick this information because I don't have it all. I'm going to have to make a video about this, I do believe. Let me get this pulled up for you, and then we'll go over the new interview here that I have. Okay. We already have Inspector BS sniffing out the BS. Okay, so this is the depositions filed Friday at 1:24 p.m. Hio and I were making a mad dash after I made those videos today. By the way, that intro, I'll probably try to make a better one, but I thought I'd give y'all something to watch this time instead of just listening to the music. Hey, Meandering. Are you meandering today? Hey, Chaz. Good to see you. Okay, so this deposition was filed Friday at 1:24 p.m. Hio actually found all the information we needed. So let me tell you who these people are. Let me zoom in so you might be able to read it. Okay, so the first name, Miss Develia, is a canine handler. Miss Janik is the crime scene investigator. That's number 2. Number 3, Mr. Joseph is the Orange County Sheriff's Office deputy sheriff. Miss Christine Marcus does forensics. Tristan Clark is the reporting officer. Julie Junko that's the one that took pictures and swabs of Stefan's junk in that interview. That was her. Aubrey Demek is the landowner where Madeline's body was found. Lori Magoni is the captain. She submitted narratives. And Hannah Miner did the evidence, like the swabs on the car, the swabs from the firearm, and all of those things. And then Miss Miller here at the bottom is a forensics investigator. So all of their information is going to be in the documents. So I'm going to work on pulling those narratives for us so you guys can understand what they said. So those are going to be long depositions. So I will work on getting those, their narratives together and putting out a video on that. Let me get this playlist pulled up. For now, we have the original depositions that we're going to continue to talk about. But first, we're going to talk about this video that I literally was doing a mad dash to get together this morning. Miss Plunder over there, which I linked in the description box of this video right here, got an interview.
Time is 9:09.
With a former friend of Jen's from St. Cloud. So basically what was going on is they were trying to figure out why Stefan went all the way to St. Cloud where he dumped poor Madeline's body. So they talked to these people March 13th at 9:09 a.m. To see if they knew anything. I don't know if you guys remember, but she talked about she had a friend in St. Cloud that she knew once upon a time. So we're going to go over what she said. She basically sniffed out the BS with Stefan from the beginning. I did label her as a neighbor. I changed it since then. She is a former friend. And she lives close to the reserve. So we're going to listen to this and go over this real quick. I will drop the link if anybody wants to come up. Please watch this video on your own time and look in the description box for Plunder's breakdown of this. Again, if she didn't submit the FOIA for this or get this, I wouldn't have known to submit the FOIA because, like I told you, they are probably attempting to take my FOIA request privileges away over here. They got upset with me. They said, no, ma'am, you cannot submit any more FOIA requests. So they didn't get, I mean, I can, but, you know, they get frustrated when they see my name. So anyway, we'll go ahead and listen to this. Hey, Boomer. Good to see you.
It is March 13th, 2024. We are
Why are you not allowing me?
myself, Detective Morris, Detective Pinnell, reference to case number 24001896. And we are going to be interviewing Silvana, SYLVANA Vester.
Sorry, I had to put some extra clothes on.
No, that's okay. That's good. I appreciate.
I'm sure she was fully dressed. I was playing around, and so I made this background for that part because it was funny to me. So I apologize.
You're talking to us. So, like I said, I'm the one that's investigating the death of Miss Maddie Soto. We received a tip this morning via our department, which led me out here saying you may or may not know the family or have somewhat of a history of the family.
I knew her a long time ago. She probably when she was like eight-ish.
And this is Maddie or
Maddie and Jen.
Okay.
And sometimes we would go hiking with her in Lake Lizzie. It wasn't so much me, but my partner. And
at the reserve over there.
Yeah, Lake Lizzie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean,
so we know that she was found close to Lake Lizzie, if I'm not mistaken. So that's basically why they're talking to her. I do want to announce and thank you guys. We did hit 5,000 members, which is absolutely astonishing, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. If I announce it on my page just yet, like 20 people will unsubscribe, so it's not 5,000. I made that mistake when I hit 3,000. I was like at 3,010 subscribers, and I said that, and then I checked it after the post, and it was at like 289, and I was like, well, I guess if you're going to unsubscribe just because I said that, then I guess you weren't really here for the right reasons anyway. But we are at 5,000. I'm trying to keep it on the down low until we get a little bit over that. But I do appreciate you guys. I can't thank you enough for that. That is absolutely amazing. I don't know what to say. I mean, that really touched my heart. That's amazing. I can't believe 5,000 people even know about my channel. So thank you guys for that. That was super cool, super sweet. Thank you to all the creators that have mentioned me as well. I really appreciate it.
I mean, everything seemed normal.
How long have you known Jen? And
I mean, maybe a year or two. I'm gonna say I don't. You know, I wasn't the one who was primarily involved. I met Matt.
Y'all are so sweet. Thank you so much for the compliments. You guys are what makes it, though. You guys are what you are the ones that do that. So thank you guys for doing that. You guys did that. And thank you. We all did it. Thank you.
Maddie. Right. I met her and she was a sweet kid. Do you want to go? Do you want to the sun? Do you want to?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
It was kind of weird. I mean, we are talking about Florida, but I was like, it's really that hot at 9 o'clock in the morning in March. That was interesting. Hey, Screaming Daisies, glad you made it. It's good to see you.
That's great. Yeah, there we go. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hard to.
Yeah.
It's
Like right in my face.
So maybe I'd say a year or two, and that's just off of memory.
Mm-hmm.
And then she hooked up with that guy,
Okay.
Stefan, and I again just trying
Veronica.
to remember. We probably knew them maybe another
Hey, JPL.
4 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't like him.
So off the bat, they're smelling something fishy with this character right here.
You didn't like Stefan, or why not?
He's a scumbag.
Oh yeah.
We knew. Not that he would do that.
Right.
Never. I never had that. But he was.
So these people just met him. They sound like they're open people, right? They sound like they're open to most people's thoughts, opinions, and feelings, and relationships and all of that. And they smelled that something was fishy about this character right off the bat. So that tells us about how Stefan was as a person. Like, just meeting him immediately, people can tell something's off with this dude right here. And they're like, never in a million years, obviously, you don't think that somebody that would do that. But statistically, you probably do, unfortunately. So again, just keep your family safe. But, they just smelled something off with him just right off the bat. They knew something was weird with this guy.
He didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't hold a job. Was proud about painting these stupid little plastic soldiers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God. I was just like, I resented that he got. I don't know how he stayed alive. Most of us have to work.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I resented that.
She resented that he was able to basically live off of mama and daddy and didn't have to work. Cara, I think she's been in the Discord. Yeah, she lives in Florida. I think she's been around a little bit. Yeah. Couldn't keep a job. Didn't have a job. She emphasizes the job thing. Because, we all have to work. Nobody wants to get up and go to work. Wouldn't it be nice to be just handed money, right?
I resented it, right? So that he had the time
Uh-huh.
to do that. But anyway, but I hardly ever talked to him. So like that was, we were like,
Where did you meet Jen? And
my partner's colleague knew her.
Screaming Daisies, they're talking to Miss Sylvester, who was friends with Jen or lived close to Jen when they lived in St. Cloud. They lived close to the reserve where Jen and them would go hiking.
In high school.
Yeah, she's giving little digs left and right. I love it too.
okay.
Something like that. Like,
Uh-huh.
was it Michelle knew Jen in high school? I guess
Okay.
they went to, yeah. But I didn't know Michelle that well either.
Uh-huh.
This is all,
Right.
her friends. So I think so. Then they moved, I believe. I think they moved north, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
He found a job. So they left.
So they're from Lake Lizzie Reserve in Florida to Kissimmee is about 30 minutes. So I don't know if that's where she was referencing. I'm assuming that they talked about her moving to Kissimmee. So that's what I put. I mean, we know that they lived in Kissimmee and they would go down there occasionally, but
They left, and I thought so. Then Courtney tells me that they
hey, Twisted Chaos.
had to move back. I guess he lost his job. I don't know. And I thought they had split up at that point.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought they had split up. And I know Courtney said at that point they were having some issues. And Courtney said to Jen, leave him. You don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't usually interfere in somebody's business like
Yeah,
that.
right.
But he was pretty bad enough that she was like, leave him. Now, we didn't. So we hardly knew, them
Mm-hmm.
once he entered their life.
Gotcha. Did they ever spend any time out here? Have they ever come here to visit?
Oh, she did come. Maddie came, not him. He
Okay.
never came here.
Okay.
We would never. I mean, I'm telling you, not like that guy.
So, I mean, they don't even know much about him, but they're already like, he's not going to come here. We don't like him. He knows better than to step foot on our property. He better not come. Found that interesting. Teresa said, this lady says Jay is her partner's co-worker's friend from high school. Jay insinuated this was a close friend from a long ago job. So did Jay skip some steps to friendship, making herself sound good? It's definitely possible. Hey, Natasha. Good to see you. Hey,
She
Nan.
came here a couple times because they would hike and sometimes just get a drink or something, and before they left or something like that. But I couldn't tell you how often. You know.
So did Jen come out here with Maddie too?
Yeah.
Okay. But Stefan never came out here.
No.
Not even sitting out in the car or anything like that.
No.
She is like unequivocally no. He knew better than to come here. Screaming Daisy says everybody got the creeper vibe from Stinky. Right. Absolutely they did. Hey, Luna.
Courtney didn't like him.
Did she let it known to Jen that she didn't like him?
I'm not sure at first.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Right.
It sounds like she would have like definitely let her know by how, adamant she is about they didn't like him.
I do know that once they were having issues, she told them.
She kind of let her
Oh, yeah.
know her opinion.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But I don't know at first, because, it's not really something appropriate to usually say to somebody.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Exactly.
God, I can't believe they found her body in the Demick's property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why we're kind of concerned, especially knowing that you lived out here, that he might have been out here at some point, or
oh no,
not he really has no ties to St. Cloud.
Yeah,
so.
But does that actually do anything? Like, does that push forward the investigation anymore?
Well, I mean, it could. Any little bit helps,
I mean, but no, he was never here.
Okay,
never. Not that I know of. No.
When do you think the last time Jen was out here with Maddie?
Oh God. I don't know that it's got to be years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's years. I don't.
So it sounded like they, knew each other pretty well if they knew each other from high school and things like that. And then all of a sudden, Stefan gets in her life and she doesn't go out there anymore. I mean, except for to stop maybe for a sip of water or something when they go on a hike. Again, I mean, she's cutting people out of her life because of Stefan. Nobody likes Stefan, but she's keeping him around, even though they're having problems. They're breaking up, getting back together. Nobody likes Stefan, and she's, instead of distancing herself from Stefan, she's distancing herself from them. Yeah, like Jenny Jen said, it seems Jen was more active and had many friendships before meeting Stefan. Right. Hey, G14 Classified. G14 said, everyone put your DNA on the thumbs up button. Please do. Mommy Ball said, I wonder how long it took to be creeped out and what it was. What was it? Some people you just get a vibe from, a gut feeling. And it sounds like they were creeped out off the bat.
Because like you said, she was probably 8 or 9, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
Just to remember. But years? That
Gotcha.
time.
Okay.
That would be
okay. No worries.
She's not, I didn't even know they were together.
Mm-hmm.
I sure as heck didn't know that he was doing.
You really went to the Tower of London? I want to go there so bad. Because of the story. It actually, I first saw it in Goosebumps, but where the prince and princess were put there, and they were like kids. But that story's always interested me. I've always wanted to go there.
Doing the things he did.
Right.
I can't believe that nobody did anything.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but yeah, I don't know what. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what he was doing around. I have no idea what brought him here because it's not his area. He never went hiking, but I know of. Never anything. So I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else? No. All right. Did you tell me the truth the whole time? We just have to ask. Anytime we interview somebody, we have to ask. Okay.
As far as my memory can recall.
Gotcha.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him, Okay.
All right, Miss Fester, thank you so much for your time. Sorry to bother you on a Wednesday.
On a whim.
So, all right, thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate your time.
I'm just talking away. Hio, thank you for dropping Plunder's link. Like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have known this existed. So basically, they went down there just to talk to this lady because they're trying to figure out Stefan's connection to the area where he placed Maddie. So, that's all it was. And that evidently was not it. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the, hey, Robin, to the depositions. Gray Moon says, sounds like Jen Soto had big support system prior to Stinky being involved in their lives. Red flag abusers always isolate their victims. Yes, they do. And you could see how he was like hovering over her cell phone in the body cam footage, how it appeared that he was, very controlling. So we'll go ahead and do Mr. Karras. He's the flat tire witness, and then we'll jump into the interview with the school counselor because that one is very intriguing. I might speed this one up because there's not a whole lot we get from this one. So let me tell you the reference. Okay. So this is going to be Mr. Thomas Karras. He is going to be
Person present are myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood.
He's going to be deposed on February 18th at 2 p.m. So again, a deposition. Let me go back and review that for anybody that's just coming in today. Deposition in legal terms is going to be a deposition is a formal sworn statement made outside of court by a witness or party in a legal case. Depositions are part of pretrial discovery process where each side gathers information to prepare for trial. How it works, a lawyer from one side of the case requests a deposition from a witness, expert, or opposing party. The witness is called the deponent. The deposition is conducted in a location away from the courtroom, often in a lawyer's office. A court reporter records the testimony. Each party has the opportunity to ask questions. Depositions help each side to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the other side's case. Depositions can be used to obtain testimony from witnesses who can't attend trial, and depositions can be used to refresh the memory of a witness or contradict their testimony at trial. Excuse me. So basically what's happening is they're calling them in to go back over these witness statements that we have. And they're going to prepare them for court, prepare them on what the other side might ask questions, all of that. So we're going through the witness testimony, basically what's going to be talked about in the deposition because this is as close as we're going to get to the actual depositions, right? Like they're not going to release that to us, but we know for a fact that they're going over their witness statements and we have the witness statements. So we're reviewing that to see what they're going to talk about in the depositions. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Okay. I haven't played this one in a while, so let's see what we can learn. Let me turn captions on. All right.
And what's your first name?
Thomas.
Thomas?
Yes, sir.
And last name? All right, before we start, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge? Up, you got it.
Yes, sir. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so we talked a little bit on the phone that you called in information about a current investigation that the police are working. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you made that call, why did you call the police?
Hey, eyes wide open.
So I know I gave my information of what I saw that day to Crime Line.
Okay.
And they told me it was too vague.
Okay.
And so that's when I went out and took pictures of where I saw him.
How did you know that's what you were looking for?
I saw your guys' post
Okay.
that morning
Okay.
of the car and his face.
Okay.
and the car, where the spare tire was and everything like that, the spare tire was on the same exact side of that car and everything. It was a Lincoln that I passed on Hickory Tree. There's not much traffic that goes on in Hickory Tree, but there is more picking up right now. So when I saw him on the side there, I kind of like was like, whatever. Like, that's a kind of convenient spot to break down, because it's like kind of like in a driveway, but it kind of sucks that you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Right. But I called that in the crime line.
Okay, so he's saying it's kind of fast. I'll probably have to slow it down. It's hard to hear him. He basically saw Stephen on the side of the road changing his tire or with a flat tire.
And they told me that I didn't have the license plate of his car because he was facing me, going towards Harmony. Okay. I was going away from Harmony, going towards St. Cloud on Hickory Tree. Okay. Old Hickory Tree, I'm sorry. So I called that.
So this is interesting because when he first calls, they're like, well, you don't have his license plate. You don't have enough information. So, basically they do nothing with his tip. And this is the tip that helped them find Maddie. Eyes wide open. Yeah, she used to live down there, but I don't know exactly where. That's one of her friends from high school that she hung out with. I'm glad you made it, Robin. Hey, laughter is medicine. Good to see you. Boomer says, yes, she sleeps in her street clothes. Who does that? Clothes are picking up germs, and then you get in your bed with them, right? So this, again, is Mr. Karras. He is going to be deposed on February 18th, and we are basically going over what they're going to depose him on February 18th.
That in the crime line, they told me I didn't have his license plate number, and I didn't have his address exactly where he was. So it was too vague, and thank you, but have a good day, and they got up on me. So.
The tip was too vague. Thank you, have a good day, and hug up, Olby. How exactly do you say, there is no address for a field. There's fields all over the place here. If I saw somebody on a field and was trying to call in a tip, I would say the tobacco field, the wheat field, the corn field. Like, you don't have an address for places like that, especially if you're just driving by. Do y'all have the address to your local Walmart? Do you know the address? Do you know the address, the physical address of the gas station up the street from your house? I bet you don't. Ridiculous, these people. Hey, Teresa.
So that's when I went and took the pictures of where I saw him. When I came back, Osceola and St. Cloud were starting their search right off of Nolte and Old Hickory Tree near the mobile and the construction site, and there's an abandoned house on the left. So
Anders, this is going to be after the CSAM trial for the homicide trial, I do believe. I'm glad that you got a membership to Laughter is Medicine. I'm hoping to get a new video out of Basil here soon. I was working on it a little bit.
I pulled over, and there's traffic going. Everyone's
hey, Lisa.
Down, but I flagged one of the sergeants over. He came over, and I showed him the picture of where I saw him. And I showed him, I can show you the pictures too. It's the red shipping container, because that's the best way I could explain it. Because there's no mailbox, there's no address. So the red shipping container is like where he was parked in front of that, that area. So he sent me down to the abandoned school that's on Old Hickory Tree. They do, I guess, their police training there for the past year.
Hey, Melissa.
So he sent me into the second parking lot where I spoke to an investigator named Donna. I don't remember her last name, but I'm pretty sure it started with a C. Sita? That sounds about right. And I airdropped her the photos. And then an hour later, they were at that same exact spot saying this is where they found her. Okay.
All right. So you're from St. Cloud.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to assume, but are you familiar with the...
So what's interesting is they would have had her body. They would have had her, found where he placed her way sooner if they'd have just taken this tip seriously. Laughter is Medicine said, this is our hero guy that's seen Stephen. I really hope Jen Soto follows right in suit with Stephen after his trial. I hope so, but it's not appearing that it's going to be that way. And I can pull up that stuff to show you why I don't think they're going to charge Jen Soto. I hope they do, but it's not looking good as of right now. Hey, Amanda Page, thank you for being here.
The St. Cloud area.
Yes, sir.
Have you grown up there and stuff like that? Yeah. Okay. So Old Hickory Tree goes from, say, 192, where it passes Nolte, all the way back to 192.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just lived off the corner of Old Hickory Tree with my ex-fiance for the past 2 years now.
Okay.
So I lived a little bit past the fire station
Okay.
on that corner right there.
So you said you were coming from
Harmony.
St. Cloud, the Harmony side.
Yeah, the Harmony side from Harmony coming back.
So it'd be going north.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eventually.
Robin Michelle said 1000% hero. 1000% told the truth. He was screaming it from the rooftop. He called back 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, and was like, hey, you really need to understand what I'm telling you. And I think he even went back, took pictures, and got the address, which again is hard to do. Like, can you tell me an address of a field that's in your town around you? I bet you can't. Like, not easy to do. It's just the field, the cornfield, the tobacco field, the whatever field. Again, I can't tell you the address of my local Walmart. I can't tell you the address of the gas station up the street. I can't tell you the address of people that live 7, 8 houses down from me. You know what I mean? So it's, I do appreciate this, man. And I do believe it was divine intervention. JPL said this was not a coincidence. Maddie wanted to be found. Yep. Absolutely.
Should be going north.
It goes south for a bit, but then moves back around to going north.
Okay. So when you come upon this guy changing his tire, okay, is as you're going north, is he on the left side of the road or right side of the road? Left side of the road. Okay. And you also mentioned there was a red shipping container. Was that shipping container close to the road, or?
It's in my opinion, it's more in the middle of the field, on the left-hand side of which we was parked. So I came around the corner, and there's another little curve, and then it's a little straightaway that we were on. Okay. That's where I saw him. He was by his driver door at that time, and he had a hat like mine, but backwards, but it was like a yellowish, greenish, brown color, like light yellow, light green, brown.
Do you remember what color shirt he was wearing?
Black.
Okay.
I want to say he had blue jeans on, but I don't have much description of the jeans or the shoes, because
Okay, so Flat Tire Witness saw him in a black shirt. We know he was wearing the red Deadpool shirt when he was at the dumpsters that morning. When Brittany, the girl that worked at the gas station, saw him, he was in a white shirt. And now the Flat Tire Witness sees him in a black shirt. Like y'all have said before, he changed clothes more that day than he probably did in a damn week in any other time. Jenny Jen, my love, said, well, there aren't any charges at this time for Jen, but they didn't say she is cleared. Good point. That is a good point. They did not say she's cleared that I know of. Hey, Julia Turner, thank you for being here. Julia says, thinking of Maddie. Yes. I'm waiting for her to get justice, and I'm hoping that she will. I mean, I think that they've got everything they need to give this child justice.
When I got up to him, there was another car coming out on his side, coming towards us. He had a tire iron in his hand. There was no jack out that I could see. There was no other tire out that I could see. The spare tire was already on the car, and he had a tire iron out. And by then, and as I'm passing him, he squats down at the back rear tire where the spare tire is on with the tire iron. And as he squats, he looks up, and we make eye contact as I drive by him.
Okay.
And
that's kind of how I knew it was him, because I had to.
I wish I could have seen the fear in his eyes, because when okay, he knows what he has just done or what he's about to do, that there's an actual body in the trunk. Because I don't know if it was before or after he placed Madeline. I would think it was after, but I'm not sure. So when he sees somebody driving by, just the fear in his eyes, because he's right there where he placed her, or she's in the trunk. And he's trying to hurry up and change this tire so he can get away from that location, hopefully without being seen, and thank God he was, or get to where, he can place the body, because if he's still got her body in the trunk, what if a cop rolls up to help him and then asks to search the car? Like, he's done. So you could imagine the anxiety and fear and just everything that man would have seen in his eyes then. I'd pay money to see that look on his face. I really would.
I had to slow down just because we're on a 2-lane road.
Okay.
I don't want to say the speed limit there is like 50, so I slowed down to about 40. When I passed him. So yeah, the eye contact is what really did it for me. Not only the silver car with the spare tire exactly where it was, but the eye contact.
Okay. This is not the scale. So this is going to be Hickory Tree Road. So say the middle of the road. This is going to be going north the way you were traveling. Okay. There's little driveways that go each way, both into cattle fields or whatever. Okay.
Well, this side has bamboo. This
Yes.
side has bamboo where they found her.
Okay.
I took pictures facing towards this way because that's where I saw him.
So I'm going to draw your car here. That's going to show you driving north.
Okay.
Okay. So just draw a square where his car was parked. Okay. And the front of his car is going to be on this side or that side? Okay. Now, can you draw an X where you saw him standing?
Teresa said, knowing that he's a cold-blooded murderer or accessory, imagining him holding a tire iron is chilling. He probably was like a scared mouse, though. Yeah, I think he would have been. Let's reference him to, I don't know, BTK comes to mind, right? Like, if you saw somebody that was a known sociopath, who was a serial homicider, I don't even know if that's a word, homicider. He committed serial homicides, right? And you see him on the side of the road, he's not going to be scared. He's probably going to smile at you and act like nothing's wrong. And in the back of his mind, it makes him happy to know that somebody's standing there that has no idea what he's just done, right? But Stephen Stearns is not that. This could have been, how he's trying to play it is it was an accident and related to a traumatic brain injury from what we can suggest. So we know that he was scared to death. We know he was. He's not the person to, he's not like a serial homicider. He's a sick, demented individual, but I could imagine that he was very scared in that moment as opposed to somebody who wouldn't have been. There's been, like Jeffrey Dahmer, I think he had a body in the trunk when the cops pulled him over and he got away with it. Like you got to be a special type of person, especially demented type of person, to have a body in your trunk while the police are standing there talking to you and not show any signs of being afraid, anxious, or anything, and get away with something like that. You know what I mean? Bundy. Yep.
Okay. And are you saying the spare tire was on this side, or that's where you saw him?
He was there right next to the spare tire.
Okay, was the spare tire
already on the car?
Spare tire was already on the car.
On the car. There's no other tire here. There's no jack to put up or jack stands to put under the car. He was just standing there with a tire iron. Well, kneeled down. He kneeled down by that point of me passing him, and looks at me. He has a tire iron in his hand too. Okay.
Okay. Was his trunk open or closed?
Closed. I didn't see anybody else in the vehicle either. So this is.
Sue Joy said, what in the world did Stephen Stearns do to his car inside and out after putting Maddie in the trees? Those dogs would have been all over that. And they were only all over Jen Soto's car. That's always been weird to me. That the dogs, when we watched the canine video, the dogs appear to hit on Jen's car and not Stephen's. And we know for 100% fact that Madeline was in there because they have pictures of her sitting in the front seat. But it appeared that they didn't hit on it. That has always been so weird to me. I would love to know what the answer to that is as well. Hey, Wolf. Laughter is medicine said he definitely made sure he was standing over Jen when she spoke. So he knew what was being said. Right. Michelle said, yeah, damn right the trunk was closed. 11 months since disappearance. Crying shame. I think you're talking about another case. That is sad.
It just left my mind until a few days later until I saw, the picture of him. And then you guys, I have the time from when I texted a client too, because he was on Alligator Lake. That's why I was heading this way.
Okay.
I just left Harmony to go to Alligator Lake. It was at 1:20 when I texted him that I am 20 minutes away. I'm leaving, not that I'm leaving Harmony, but I am 20 minutes away.
Okay.
So when I saw the time frame of what you guys gave from 110 to 135, I'm like, this was definitely him.
Okay, what time? So if you actually, real quick, before we get rid of this, can you just initial up here for me? And the date, which would be the 4th.
Today's
3.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're saying you're leaving the Harmony area.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jenny Jen said the canines hit on both cars, but Jen's car had the last alert. I think that meant human decomposition was present. Okay, I didn't notice them hit on Stephen's car, but I'll have to watch it again because I believe you. I remember that it would have been more prevalent in Jen's car because that was the car that had been most recently used to go to where Madeline was. Melissa said, no, babe, 11 months exactly since Maddie went missing. Oh, wow. What is today? Yeah, 11 months today since Maddie went missing. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Sebastian Rogers case because we are going to see, this case at least is going to court. I know Sebastian Rogers is still currently missing. I apologize. That's what I thought you were referencing. And I'm glad that this is going to court and they've got such an airtight case. I mean, I don't know. The CSAM anyway. I feel like he's going down for that.
Yeah, to go to a client's house on Alligator Lake, which is north of where this is.
Yes, sir.
You saw him. Okay. So what time do you think you passed when he was changing his tire?
So when I texted the client that I'm 20 minutes away.
Like, where were you when you texted this client?
I was in Harmony.
Okay.
And I was about to turn on to 192 or not.
Hey, Sam's mom. Sam's mom said, I'm new here, came over from Flunder's channel. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I just referenced her in the video we talked about earlier. She got the interview with Miss Sylvester, and I was thanking her because if she hadn't got it, I would not have known to FOIA it. So she's really awesome. She's so sweet. Hey, Allison and Nene Nut, and I think I said hey to you, Teresa. Thank you for being here.
We're not about to turn on the 192 bus coming the wrong way through Harmony. And I was like, okay, I meant to stop at the gas station. So I went back through Harmony, stopped at the Sunoco there. And when I left the Sunoco is when I saw him. Okay. That Monday. So the Sunoco is right there in front of Harmony High School.
Okay.
So I can go back and kind of try to see what time I was at the Sunoco.
No, we'll worry about that.
Okay.
Did you get gas there or just go inside to get something?
I want to say I got a hot dog and like a beer for later.
Okay.
Julia Turner said Stephen Stearns filed a mitigating circumstances motion, which will be one of 4 as yet unrevealed options. I believe he will implicate Jen Soto. Hell ain't hot enough for these two. I hope he does. When we saw the jail email a while back where his mom said, you need to look at this like life and death because that's what it is. And again, he is going to be looking at the death penalty as long as he gets this CSAM conviction, which with all the photos and videos and all of that, I mean, we've heard some of it. We haven't even seen it. And we already know he's guilty of sin. So I really feel like they got an airtight case with the CSAM. And I think the jury will convict on that. And if they convict him of that, then he's got a felonious crime in his criminal history, and that's going to make him eligible for the death penalty. I hope, and that is life and death. I mean, he could be put to death. So if he is going down for this and not mentioning or implicating Jen in something that she was involved in, he's going to flip on her because he's going to say, I'm not going to die for something that you were involved in as well. Like, I don't know anybody that would do that. I mean, actual death, like if he got sentenced to death, I don't know anybody that would get sentenced to death and not roll over on the person that was helping them or whatever. I just, that's a whole different level. Serena said, welcome, beautiful people, both new and returning. Please smash the like button. Get this incredible channel into the algorithm. Sending all the love and good vibes. Thank you for that. And lastly, real quick, Michelle said 2 creators have referred to you as allegedly innocent. The docket eventually corrected himself, but Niche said it several times and didn't realize. Yeah, there is another channel called Allegedly Innocent. That's okay. I know what she meant. Y'all know what she meant. Niche, I haven't checked her out, but she seems really sweet. Hey, Bogart. It's good to see you.
But you went inside to get that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Remember what you're wearing? I mean, I can pick you out from up.
Hey,
I want to
Hazel.
say I was wearing a bright green shirt with this cap.
All right. So you left that Sunoco, went down to Hickory Tree. That's when you got on Hickory Tree to go north or to go to your next client.
Yes, sir. I turned at the light, got on 192, then hopped on the Hickory Tree going back.
Okay. So when you come out of Sunoco, to get to Hickory Tree, turn right or left?
You turn left.
Okay. Then how do you turn on the Hickory Tree?
You have to turn into the turning lane, and then you have to cross back over 192, like they're going.
So you're making another left.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. So when you pass this guy,
I'm gonna look up how to say it. Niche. I mean, I don't know. With the E on the end, the E would sound like the I. So if I said it wrong, I apologize. Nishi. Like I don't know. The E or the I on the end is messing me up. If I said it wrong, I apologize. I'll look into. I'll ask Google. I don't know how to ask Google how to pronounce words. I'll figure it out and make sure I'm right by the time I come back. Ninshi. I see. Look, I'm gonna keep messing it up. Hey, lemon lime. Veronica said, yeah, what's he going to say? That it was Jen's member? No doubt. Not the CSAM stuff, but the homicide, I think Jen was more involved, and I think she knew.
You come down to set in officers. You see officers hanging out there as you're.
No, there's no officers there.
When did you find this search? Oh, so Wednesday is the one.
Yeah,
when you
so
saw.
Wednesday morning. No, it had been. You guys were doing your search on Friday because I had my son with me. I get my son on the weekends, so I had my son with me, and I want to say Friday morning is when I saw the post about the car and the picture of him, and that's when my heart sunk and I realized who it was. So when I called Crime Line, they hung up on me, told me too big. I put my son inside the car seat, and then my friend lives right over on the corner from me, so I picked him up to come with me. To go take pictures, and so I would say Friday. I have timestamps on my phone, says 3:45, 3:46.
Okay.
And then when I came back through is when I gave the photos.
Okay. So when you talked to Donna, obviously you provided a statement to her as well. I think she said she talked to you for a little bit.
She did talk to me, but I didn't write anything down for them.
Okay, that's fine.
The most she got was my first, last name, and my phone number.
Okay. But you airdropped the pictures of this area where you saw this guy.
Yes.
So while it may seem, and I'm guilty of it too. I did say that this, we don't really get a lot of information from this. This actually is going to be like one of the most important depositions of the whole trial, because he is placing Stephen Stearns at the scene of where not the crime happened, but basically where they found Madeline. Without this witness's testimony and the second flat tire witness testimony that we have, we wouldn't know if Jen put her there or if Stephen put her there. Now, we could align it up with the traffic cams and all of that and say, well, he was driving here and there. He had her in the trunk, he's the only one that drove, but there is a small chance of reasonable doubt to be in the mind of the jurors. But because of this witness, we have him at the scene of where her body was placed. So while it might not seem that important, this is one of the most important depositions that they're going to be taking out of the whole entire case. Because without this, people could say, well, what if it was Jen? What if she drove there? What if she was in the white car? What if you just didn't see her? How do we know it was him? Well, we have this witness to say, yeah, I saw him there. It was him.
I still have the three photos on my phone.
Is there any way that you could email me those photos?
Yeah.
You live by Deer Run?
Not anymore. I live off of Narcoossee now.
Is that the fire station you were referring to?
Yes, yes. So when they were asking me questions about where exactly this is at, they're like, is it before Deer Run? Is it before Nolte? And I'm like, way after.
And you knew that because you're familiar with that area.
Yeah. I grew up in this area, and I've been going back and forth now. I've been doing work in Harmony for the past 3 to 4 years, mowing grass. I'm sorry, what's your email?
It's Mark, MARK, .Morris, MORRIS, @Kissimmee.gov.
How you spell Kissimmee?
KISS.
Anders, yeah, we're gonna do the school counselor next. There's 2 depositions that are going to be taken from the flat tire witnesses. So I figured we'd start with this one because, I was going to try to do one that might not be quite as interesting to everybody, and then do one that is really interesting to everybody. There's a lot in the interview with the school counselor. Not all heroes wear capes. That's right. You could be a hero. You never know. I don't know. They're probably going to try to make it to where the CSAM cannot be mentioned in the homicide trial, but I imagine they're going to put a motion in for that, but I don't think it's going to fly because there's a high probability that the CSAM is directly related to the homicide. So they're going to probably have to be talking about it, because especially if he's convicted, he's convicted of the CSAM. We can say definitively that he did the CSAM. And that could have led to the death of Madeline Soto. I'm going to put a trigger warning up if we're going to talk about autoerotic asphyxiation or something like that. We don't know exactly what happened that night. We won't at the trial, but because she was strangled, and autoerotic asphyxiation could be directly correlated to the homicide, they're going to have to mention the CSAM. But his lawyer's probably going to try to make it to where they can't, like they did with Eileen Wuornos, where they were like, you can't mention that she's got these other 7 homicides on her, or however many it was in the one homicide trial for the first one. Hey, Norma, good to see you.
SSIMMEE.
Okay. Kissimmee.gov.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Donna told me she already had the pictures and she was going to do what they do with them, but just so I have a record of them as well.
I got a couple questions.
Sorry, I was muted. I did say autoerotic asphyxiation, so I guess it would just be erotic asphyxiation if you're not choking yourself. Auto would be yourself, so I guess it would be erotic asphyxiation if you're not doing it to yourself, because I don't think that she did it to herself by any means. The CSAM trial is supposed to start, I'll look it up, February something, and then the homicide trial is in September. I'll grab that date real quick.
Yeah.
Thomas, when you were driving by him, I know you said you slowed down a little bit.
Yes, sir.
It didn't come to a complete stop?
No, sir. There was no sense to. I did have the thought in my head about asking him if he needed help changing his tire, but there was no other spare tire. There was no jack. He just had the tire iron, and plus the new tire was on the car. So I'm like, man, got it.
Exactly.
And
how would you describe the way he looked? Did he look flustered, normal?
More, it had this scared face to him. Like it was just, and like the eyes, just more like a sadness to his eyes, So like I said, nothing about it made it seem off to me, just passing him. He seemed like somebody that just broke down, So that got me too. So now it kind of just replays that she might have been in that trunk as I pass, and it also replays that she was right behind me when I'm taking the photos of the storage container, saying he was parked right here. I did just email the.
Okay, perfect.
Was he only by the car when you saw him?
Yeah, he was only by the car. They're saying address.
I've got it. Eyes Wide Open says the 24th. I've got it somewhere, but I can't find it right off the top of my head. I think it's the 20 something. I do remember that of February.
Put 3 M's.
Oh, no. My bad.
What'd you ask?
If he was only by the car?
Yes, sir. I only saw him by the car. There was another vehicle approaching us on his side going towards Harmony. And I believe that was a black newer Expedition, but I'm not too sure between the Expeditions and the Explorers.
And I do believe that's going to be our second flat tire witness, because the second flat tire witness references Stefan standing with a man with red hair helping him change his tire, or asking if he needed help or something to that effect.
Or the Explorers actually is what you guys drive, so it was an Expedition because it was like a 4-door bigger box truck, you know.
Okay.
I know you said the trunk was closed. Were any of the other doors open?
No, I only saw him open his well, not open it, but I saw him close his driver door. So I don't know if he exactly just got there whenever I made that turn or not, but I saw him close his driver door when I was approaching him, and he was walking towards the back of the car, and by the time I got to him, he was kneeling and looking at me when I was driving by him.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you already said it, but I'll ask again. Did you see anyone else with him?
No, sir. I didn't see anybody inside the vehicle.
JPL said, I still think it's odd that Jennifer said Stephen Stearns probably drugged and choked her. She's pretty accurate. She also put Madeline Soto in her trunk. When if you, like, let's say you watch Dexter or something and you're like, okay, he had her in the car that morning. I know that much. But then he came back when I went to my blood appointment and she wasn't in the car anymore. So if he hadn't placed her yet, she would have to be in the trunk, because I would assume that he got the flat tire placed in her body and he didn't have the flat tire yet. Okay. So that would make me think, okay, you're telling me she's in the car that morning. I didn't see her when I went out to my blood appointment, but he didn't have the flat tire yet. So she had to be in the trunk. And then when I went to go pick her up from school and he got the flat tire, that had to be when he placed her body. And then he went out to look for her, evidently. Why, in what scenario does that put her in your trunk and the dog's hit on her trunk? But no, she doesn't just say that, what I just said, which is what you would conclude if somebody was asking you what happened, like they did in the video interview. She put Madeline in her trunk, also said drugged and choked, and said because there was no mess upstairs, and quickly followed it up with, right, you guys said there was no mess upstairs, right? But claimed to not have gone upstairs. There's so much wrong with everything she said. Why necessarily, I mean, unless you were already drugging her, why would you say drugged and choked? You could say choked because the dogs didn't bark and there was no noise. Okay. But your reason for saying choking, you said, was because there was no mess. I mean, there's so much. And I'm really going to be upset if this DA doesn't let them detectives charge her.
I didn't really get a good look in the windows, but I did not see anybody else like their head or anything like that inside the window.
So nobody outside with him either?
No, none of that either.
Did you see anybody walk in on either side, coming north or south from where he was?
I'm sorry. No. From north or south, there was nobody walking. I didn't see anybody with him. He was just by himself. He really looked like somebody that was kind of changing his tire, but kind of just finished up. But again, kind of also looks like he just got there because that front door.
All right, so we're gonna get somebody else to come in here and show you these pictures. So give us a minute. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. I guess the last question: did he appear? His clothes. What state would you say? Normal, dirty, clean? Remember anything specific about that?
He was wearing a black shirt. So with the black shirt that he was wearing inside his mugshot was like the closest I could say that I like looked at the material. So I don't know if he even changed his clothes like when it came to that mugshot and that, or if he just rewore a short, if he has multiple of the shirts. So he didn't look dirty. He didn't look like he just walked through anything. He didn't have any like, you know, stickers all over him. I didn't see any of that.
Could you tell if he was sweaty or anything like that?
No, he kind of looked like he just got out of his car, you know. Where I couldn't say that because, like, you know, I don't know if he has AC in his car, but you know, he didn't have a jacket on. You know, he had.
So he didn't appear to be dirty, and if he walked through that field to place her where she was, I mean, unless they keep the grass cut in that field, he would have had some kind of brush or debris on him. So if I had to guess, I'd say this is probably before he placed her, and nobody would have known she was in the trunk because, I mean, why would you think there's a body in the trunk of this man you're trying to help change the tire? Teresa said, my theory is Stefan accidentally committed homicide on Madeline and told Jen she had to help him hide the body and evidence or he'd rat on her, basically for the CSAM. I know there are almost as many theories as people. Yeah, I think that's a good theory. Lori said, I also remember Stephen, her ex, saying Jen told that morning the dog woke her up barking and she was getting up to take it out, but Stephen Stearns said he would do it. I never heard her saying the dog was barking. I haven't either. We'll have to listen to that interview again because I don't remember that. That's interesting. Diana said, Julia Turner, right? Something happened and they were scared of being exposed. And I'm pretty sure Jen said to him, he should do what he has to do, but leave her out so she can seem she doesn't know. I think that's a good opinion, a good possible speculation as well. Hey, Misty Mo, it's good to see you. Misty Mo said, I've always said when he took that second ride out to the bamboo in Jen's car, that's when he placed her out there. Thus the canines hit on Jen's car because by that time the decomp was intense. That's interesting. Why do you think he was by the scene where she was found at changing his tire? What would be your explanation for that? And we know he was in the trunk of his car because she was put there when he was at the hotel. They have that on camera. So at what point would he have changed her from his car to Jen's car? What do you think about that? I mean, to be fair, he could have done it at the same time, you know, just like he walked out of the house with her and somehow put her in his car, set her up, tied her up with the leash and put the seatbelt on her without anybody seeing. So I suppose he could have switched trunks while nobody was seeing too, if he knew what time. But I don't understand why he would be at the scene where she was found changing his tire if he didn't get the flat tire from putting her out there.
These jeans, you know, like, so yeah, I'm sorry for just trailing.
That's okay. So you only saw the spare tire that's on his car. You didn't see an additional, like the original tire that would be on it.
There was no original tire that would be on it, and there was no car jack, no car stand or anything like that. Just what he was using to change the tire was the iron. It was like a 4.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, but give us 1 second.
Julia said, Jen Soto said herself, Stephen Stearns doesn't know that area. Madeline was left 1 minute drive away from where a friend of Jen Soto used to go hiking with. Yeah, we listened to that interview earlier in this live. But Jen is not caught on camera driving out there. We have Stephen Stearns driving to that area and back in his Lincoln and in Jen's car. And he was alone. So, I mean, Jen definitely could have told him where to put her if she's involved, but I don't think that Jen would have put her there because she's not caught on camera driving the vehicles. Sarah said, as someone who is kind of training their dog to be a cadaver dog, long story, they're not always right. The cadaver dogs are not always right. Yeah, I think they were. I think that something happened with her truck. Misty Mo said because he did accidentally get a flat and was actually heading to Alligator Lake and had to go home and consult Jen that their plan wasn't going to work. It's a possible speculation. I can see that. Carolina said definitely. A whole lot of things don't make sense. Jen Soto had her sister Stephanie and Father Juan right there to help her with Madeline. My speculation is that she and Stinky knew Madeline was on the verge. The friend's property. Yeah, I knew what you meant. The dogs were totally distracted by the scent of the poodles in Stefan's car. Good point. That could be why. Because they would have smelled the poodles more than, well, depending on if decomp had set in by then. We're waiting on them to get some kind of picture. It's playing there. That's why I know she was involved, because she's helping him, telling him what to do, but also staying away and having an alibi. I mean, I definitely think it's possible. By the way, the interview is playing. It's just they're not saying anything. They could have been distracted by the other dog's smell. It's according to how trained, then how seasoned they are, how much experience their handlers have. There's a lot of things that come into play. Yeah, to be fair, like there's videos of them searching for Maddie that night that she first went missing, and the dog is just like playing around, and he actually poops on the grass.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm also good. All right. So
It's a good point, Laughter.
we're going to do a photo lineup, okay? I have some instructions to read to you, okay? All right. So you're
Hey,
going to be
Mojo.
asked to view a group of photos of individuals, okay? It is just as important to clear, if you want to read it as well, clear innocent persons from suspicion as to identify guilty parties. The person of interest may or may not be in this photo lineup, and the photos are not in any particular order. Okay. I do not know whether the person being investigated is included in the group. Individuals presented in the photo group may not appear exactly as they did on the day of the incident, because features such as head and facial hair are subject to change. You should not feel like you have to make an identification. If you do identify someone.
No, I didn't mean, okay, what I meant was that, the dogs were playing around, which I've never seen, that's a video like for court where they were searching for Maddie just to prove they were searching for Maddie, right? Like there is no scent for Maddie, especially considering that she was carried out to the car. There wouldn't be a scent for Maddie in the area, and we know that she wasn't in that area, nor did she walk anywhere. So obviously they're not going to pick up on a scent. I was just saying, they seem younger, maybe unseasoned dogs because of the way they were playing around and all of that. And, they pooped on the grass, which, if they got to go, they got to go. But that was kind of more what I was referencing, not necessarily the fact that they didn't pick up a scent. I wouldn't expect them to. Yeah, I'm going to highlight your comments. I'm going to wait so we can read this, so we can hear this, but y'all got some really good comments and I appreciate it. Hey, Miss Kimmy and Hunter's Moon.
I will have you designate the photograph of the person you have identified. Regardless of whether you make the identification, we will continue to investigate the incident. The photos will be shown to you simultaneously and are not in any particular order. Take as much time as you need to examine the photos. Since this is an ongoing investigation, you should not discuss the identification procedures or results. Okay? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to have you initial right here. Okay.
So he's going to identify Stefan. Michelle says, I had to pick out someone from a lineup many years ago. I witnessed a man mug an older lady. Another girl and I both witnessed it, and we both picked the same guy out in separate interviews. That's interesting. I've never had to do that. Jen says, if most of her clothes was washed, that would also affect look for her, I guess. Yeah. Search and rescue dogs searching for a scent and where that scent goes. Cadaver dogs are searching for a scent and where that scent has been. Thank you for clarifying that. MK Connecticut, thank you for being here. I was listening to another channel interviewing the scent dogs. They said exactly what you did, unseasoned. Really? Well, that's interesting. Makes me feel smart. Thank you for sharing. BH said, I wonder if Stephen Stern sprayed his seats with anything. But it's possible. And again, you know, it being the poodle mobile or whatever ambulance, that probably deterred them. I believe they caught my guy also. The person that was mugged was a client at our salon. Crazy. That is so crazy. The dirty baseball cap is very identifiable.
Thank you. And so I'm going to leave this pen with you. You can circle the page. Okay. I'm going to go out there, so you can take as much time as you need. Okay. Whenever you're ready, you can knock on the door and let me know that you're ready. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. No.
I saw the dog keep going to that parking spot. Hey, it's me.
That was quick. All right, so
She said that was quick.
photo lineup I was shown consisted of how many photos?
6.
Okay. Go ahead and write that. Were you able to identify them?
The one person, yeah, I don't know who the other
Okay.
people were.
Okay, so just check mark there. Make a check.
Check.
Yep.
Okay.
And then what number was it? Okay. And this is the person who did what? Or that you saw what?
He's writing down
Was
what he
able to
saw.
go over to, or not.
Yeah, that's okay. Just put it on the side.
You said you wish we could be jurors. Hey, so hard to see. You know, if I was a juror, I would have so many questions. It would be bad. Like I would be stopping every 2 seconds and asking questions. So hard to see that I could smell the hat from here. I think that hat could be I think you could smell that hat on a global proportion. Like I think that it could just, you know, we could set it outside and the winds of the east would carry it all the way around the world. Oh, yay, Misty.
Okay.
What day was last Monday?
They see us over here in this chat and on YouTube, and they're like, make sure you do not call these people.
26.
They have too many thoughts, opinions, and speculations. They will ask too many questions.
Okay. And then your signature right here.
Oh, no, Diana. See, all the way in Germany.
Awesome. And then the date.
Today's the 4th.
You are correct. Okay. Thank you so much. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Thomas.
Thomas.
Thank
Carrie.
you.
All right. Just wait here, and I'm sure.
I think that's about it. Yeah, they're just gonna corroborate his testimony and write it down. Laughter's Medicine had said, I had a feeling that he moved his car and the dogs hit on where poor Maddie was at some point, and he
This
was
is an interview with the school counselor.
on the move all day, so he definitely had to park elsewhere at some point. Yeah. I think they hit. I mean, I think he was parked there at 1.2 for them to hit on it. Mayla, I don't know. It was in a Goosebumps movie I had when I was a kid, and it was like the Tower of London was haunted, and it starts with them taking a prince and princess in to be locked up in the Tower of London because their uncle killed their father, who was the king, and he was basically taking the throne. So I don't know which case that would be, or if it is relevant to history. It was a Goosebumps movie, but I always assumed it was. And it made me want to visit the Tower of London because they say it's haunted, basically. Okay. I do have my trigger warning up, and this is going to be a hard interview to hear. This is the school counselor, and they're going to talk about Maddie. This is where we learn about what she's actually diagnosed with, all of the things like that.
Today's date is February 29th, 2024. The time is 13:02 hours. It's going to be reference to Orange County case number 24-011313. I'm Detective Bradshaw with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Ma'am, could you state your first and last name for me, please? We're here today to kind of talk about the situation that's in. I have a couple of specific questions that I have to ask you.
So hard to see, said. Maybe he just had dropped her over the fence at first and then went back to move her behind the bamboo. That's very possible. That's very possible. They do state that he had to lift her up over the barbed wire fence and carry her in that way. So we do know that he did that. That's a very possible speculation. So hard to see. Nene Nut says, I think he went back to change her clothes. I don't know if he would have been able to, though, because I don't know. The body would be, not trying to be graphic, but it would bloat by that time, I would think. And possible skin, the skin would be loose and things like that. Not trying to be graphic. I apologize. Hey, against all logic. Janet said, I worked as a sample jury. Lawyers paid to hear the case before they went to court to see our reaction. Oh, really? That's interesting. I would love to do that.
But can you tell me a little bit about, what you know, your relationship with her is, just any information that you could give me on that?
So I met her at the beginning of this school year in an ESE meeting. She was being transferred over from 504. That she was under that in 6th grade with our 6th grade counselor, Miss Merritt.
Okay.
Transferring over at the beginning of this year to the ESE services with our ESE staffing specialist, Miss McGregor. So I was sitting in on that meeting. In that meeting, they approved that switch and she got switched over. I heard a little bit.
I apologize. This is going to be the deposition of Miss Brady, Miss Madison Brady. This is basically what they're going over in her deposition.
About her background in terms of having ADHD, a lot of problems with focus that affects her schoolwork and grades, and then some mental health concerns in terms of a lot of anxiety and panic attacks.
Okay, so Miss Deborah Stearns, I do believe, said that she had bipolar. The friend referenced bipolar. I think what I'm thinking is that Jen told her she was bipolar, but her actual diagnoses were just ADHD and some anxiety issues, because the counselor has to have that information. Sarah Lee said, my friend that is a judge told me even if I get picked for jury duty, I would be dismissed almost immediately because I'm friends with the judge and I sit on trials kind of randomly. And I always know someone involved somehow, whether it be directly or indirectly. Oh, that's interesting. Eyes Wide Open said, is that where those PVC pipes come into play? I use that tan moving blanket and make one of those Indian Trauho types of things, but would take maybe 2 people. It's possible speculation. Florida Girl, welcome in, says ESE means exceptional student education. Thank you for clarifying that.
From there, I have been doing ongoing check-ins with her throughout the school year thus far. I think we've met about, I was looking at it earlier, 6 times.
Okay, since the beginning of the school year?
Correct.
Got it, okay.
When she has come to me, it's often been those feelings of panic. She's come to me like in the middle of class or during lunchtime, just feeling really panicked, kind of heavy breathing, feeling really overwhelmed. And when we've had our conversations about, well, what's going on, what's making you feel this way, I've gotten responses saying, well, it's my anxiety. Sometimes I don't know. I'm just really overstimulated with all the noise in the cafeteria. But
Can you imagine being Maddie and having this severe anxiety, like you're at school, and I mean, let's just say because Stephen was constantly texting her, that's what the friend said. She's at school and she can't even focus, like she's having severe panic attacks, and let's say Stephen just texted her while she was in the cafeteria or something, and she starts having a panic attack and goes to the counselor, and the one place that you're supposed to be able to talk about your feelings and what's bothering you, she can't. All she has to say is, I'm just overstimulated, it's my anxiety. She can't even explain why she's having these attacks. And we know, just taking into consideration him hovering over Jen with the text messages, and the friend talking about them talking so much through duo or messages and stuff. Stefan is controlling and manipulative. So imagine how bad it was for Maddie, Michelle says, hey, Darlene, it's good to see you, love. Hey, indie girl. Michelle said that's probably exactly why she was having panic attacks, because Stephen Stearns just could not leave her alone, even when she was at school. Yeah, exactly. Veronica said, why haven't Yolanda or Stephanie come out and say Jen was not involved whatsoever? She was a great supporting mother that did anything for Maddie. They are quiet. I think they had their suspicions from the beginning, and the issue is a lot of people picked up on Stefan being awkward, weird, and just not that great from the beginning. The biggest thing for me was in the 911 call when Stephanie says she magically or miraculously left her cell phone at home, because even she found it weird at that time. And why is Jen trying to play it off like it's not weird? The sister found it weird immediately, and the cops said it's not normal for her to leave her phone at home because the data showed that she took it with her almost every day. Right, Misty Mode, the weight of all the emotional baggage she had to carry is horrific. It is. It's really sad.
I've also gotten responses with, things at home with her. And when I pressed about that, it seemed to be things along the lines of, well, she gets upset that I'm forgetful or that I don't clean my room the way she wants me to. And we talked about what that does to affect her. And she says, yelling, that makes me get overstimulated, and then I can't respond to her in a way that she wants me to. So we discussed strategies for kind of calming herself down and talk. She's calm about how that makes her feel. And she reported to me that she did have that conversation for our past check-ins since December. So December, January, February, we had a check-in every single month, and each of those check-ins she had said to me, things are better at home and things are a little bit better at school. And
so each check-in, December, January, and February, she said things were going better at home. She was doing better in school. What changed in December, January, and February? Do y'all know? Because I do. Somebody was not at the home anymore in December, January, and February, when things had improved at home, when things were improving at school. And then all of a sudden, the big thing happens in February, I apologize. Julia said, I like what Michelle said. If you do not have the true chemical imbalance that comes with ADD or ADHD, meds like Adderall or Ritalin are like pharmaceutical speed. Yeah, they are. Jen is being upset with Maddie. Maddie doesn't clean her room the way she wants to is laughable. Jen's room and bathroom were both a disaster. They were. I'm trying not to be mean about the counselor, but she should have reported that to a higher source, a nurse. I'm a mandated reporter. Plus, we were taught about signs and symptoms. I think she saw signs, but again, it's hard. It's a hard place to be in, because what if you're wrong? And then you got a parent feeling some kind of way about you, The one thing that I can't get past is her talking about, I don't like this. This hurts. And we're going to get into that in a minute. And school that Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
About like disappear. You being here. Hey, okay, y'all can hear me. Something's going on with my computer. Hold on. I'm in on my phone, but my computer is being weird. Hold on just a minute. Oh my goodness. It might be that tower. I don't know what my computer is doing. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Okay. It should be connecting now. It's got to be where they're working on that tower out there with that crane. My daughter said she walked out earlier and waved at the people on the crane and they saw her and waved at her. But it's weird because it's working on my phone. I might have to end it. I don't know. We shall see. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'll have to end it and we'll have to pick back up tomorrow. Which really sucks because I was enjoying going over this interview, but I can't I can't share on my phone the YouTube, which really sucks. Yeah, my phone is working, which is weird, but my phone has a mobile, yeah, it's got like a hotspot, but I use like my internet is the box from Verizon, which is the same thing as my phone, I would think, right? Like isn't it? Yeah, it's not wanting to work. I'm going to try one more time. If not, I'll have to end it out. Yeah, I find it weird that nobody did a wellness check on her when because to the school counselor for her to be saying, this hurts. I don't like this. I want it to stop. And then she's absent from school for like 2 or 3 days. That's not good. Like that seems to me like one of the biggest red flags that you could have. So why wasn't something said at that point? Let me try closing out YouTube to see if it'll load that way. It's not even loading my messages now on the phone. Yeah, it's not working, guys. I don't know what's going on. I hate this, but I'm gonna have to end it. I do have my media assets, so I can play the outro song, but I can't I can't share anything from my phone. Like, I could talk to you all day, but I can't share YouTube, and we have nothing to go over without me sharing the YouTube. I will tell you again that for the deposition that was turned in on Friday, again, it was Renee Davila, who is the canine handler, Shay Janik, who is the crime scene investigator, Frankie Joseph is the Orange County Sheriff's Office deputy sheriff, Christine Marcus is the forensics person, Tristan Clark is the reporting officer, Julie Junko took pictures of Stefan's junk. That was the ladies we saw taking pictures and swabs. Audrey Demek was the landowner where Madeline's body was found. Lori McGowan is a captain. Hannah Miner is an evidence property on car, did the swabs and the gun evidence and stuff like that. And Lindsay Miller is a forensics investigator. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what else to do at this point. You know, we usually go a lot longer than this, but I'll have to end this one out today. But we will pick right back up where we're leaving off at right now. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm going to work on figuring this out. They've had that crane there for like a week, so I don't know. I find it really odd that my phone is working right now, but my laptop is not. So I will see y'all tomorrow. I know if it was up to me, y'all, we would go for hours and hours because, you know, like you guys are saying, I've got to get back to schoolwork and housework now. So, you know, but it needs to be done. So like most housework, it needs to be done. So I guess it's a good day to clean, and I've got to go grade some of their schoolwork. So I will see y'all tomorrow. I apologize. I can play the outro though. And I'll work on getting some of these depositions. I'll work on getting some of that stuff together so you guys can a video where you see what they said, basically their officer narratives. Thank you all for being here. If it wasn't for you guys being here, I would be talking to myself. So thank you for that. I apologize so much, but I will be back tomorrow and I'll see you guys then. I hope you have a good night and see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Bye.